Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages Linked Heroes game. Last episode, Data learned a new tune for the Harp of Ages, the Tune of Currents, which allows him to warp anywhere in the past into the present. And he was able to use that current, that new tune, the Tune of Currents, to get to the Restoration Mountain and restore the Toonie Nut to its unbroken form. He was able then to return the unbroken Toonie Nut to Symmetry City in the past, and that stopped the volcano that was erupting there. It basically made Symmetry City in the present uninhabitable. So Data's gonna have to go back there and check what it's like now that the volcano is erupting. Hopefully it will open up the fourth dungeon. Blocked off by a flow of lava. But before he heads back to Symmetry City, he wants to just plant another Gasha seed. So we're going to head down to this area here. Use our new tune, the Tune of Currents. And that takes us to this secluded area where we can plant another Gasha seed. And now we can warp to Symmetry City. Although here they're calling it Symmetry Village. So as you can see, it's much nicer now that it's not covered in lava. Welcome to Symmetry City. Perfect balance is the law of the land. And there's only 4 people in Symmetry City here. So I don't know how you call it a city or even a village. 2 of the people have a big problem. What a mess. Do I have to be smaller? When we go over to the other side of the village, we're going to see that the person living in that house is much smaller than that guy. So they're wondering, like, do I have to be, that guy, the tall one is looking, do I have to be smaller? And I'm going to see that the smaller one's going to be like, do I have to be taller? I guess you don't have to be perfectly symmetrical, just as long as it's balanced with the same number of people. What a mess. Do I have to be bigger? Because, as you see, they don't really match. And check this out. The volcano is no longer a volcano. Instead, it's a nice waterfall, which allows us to enter level 4 of the Skull Dungeon. So even though the volcano is no longer spewing lava, there's still a lot of lava underneath it in the dungeon. There's quite a few tricky puzzles involving those push dice. Get one right down here. Also some tricky enemies there. We saw there was fire bats, fire keys. They're really annoying because you can't hit them normally. You have to wait until they swoop down at you. And if they swoop down and hit you, they set you on fire for a little bit. And you're kind of stunned. And usually they are in rooms where there's lava, so they tend to knock you down into the lava. Really annoying. And if there's torches in the room, they can, after they set you on fire, they can fly back to a torch and relight themselves on fire. Pretty dangerous enemy. Much more dangerous than the regular keys. And that's the second time that guy took a dip in the lava, but I guess it doesn't hurt him because he came back. So you see the fire keys, it says on fire there, but then it turned to a regular keys, flew back to the fire, became another fire keys again. And Data's having some trouble jumping. This is why I don't do a lot of platformers, because I'm terrible at them. It's alright. You'll be okay, Data. Just finish off his last keys. And do some block pushing. And head on up. Stalfos. Them. We'll also need get a new type of puzzle. If you saw Oracle of Seasons, you'll be familiar with the puzzle. It's one of those puzzles where you have to pull like a lever out of the wall, and then that will shut off the lava flowing into a room. It was common in level 8, the Sword and Shield dungeon in Seasons. You saw Data's initial playthrough through Seasons, or you watched the linked playthrough of Maverick did of it. So we have to use our seed shooter here to hit that switch. Unfortunately, this bug, this worm can get in the way. But hey, Data was really lucky. So that worm is also lucky too, because that means that Data doesn't have to defeat him. We hit the switch here, so now we can stop the card here. And we continue on deeper into the dungeon. Head on up. And over. More lava and traps. It's not the worst trap room. There's gonna be a room with traps and a dice block puzzle and falling floors. I could use the rock feather that the rock's ring that I have in my ring box, and that way I can ignore the cracked floors. But in case you don't have the rock's ring, I'm just gonna do it without it. But if you do have the rock's ring, it's a good ring to equip in the one room that I'll be coming up to soon. When we get to it, this can be an annoying room too. I'll try to avoid these guys. I should have just went straight up and not bother knocking them in the lava. But if they kind of get to this section where they're at right now, best way to just deal with them is shoot them with your seed shooter and a gale seed. That warps them away. They started pretty far away in the room that time, so we got another jumping puzzle here. You have to match the colors here on the left side with the ones that are on the right. It'll be a little tricky. There we go. Last one yellow, there we go. So this is that room I was saying that has traps, has the block puzzle, the dice pushing puzzle, and all those cracks. If you push the dice on one of those cracks, it'll fall right through, you'll have to leave the room. You have to kind of be quick here. Push it down a little bit. The traps move out of the way, push it. You gotta be really quick there, or else you're gonna fall in the hole. But luckily the puzzle ain't that hard. You just basically gotta push it to the left and then down. Don't have to do a lot of fiddling with it to get it to fit right. 4 snakes. I almost got one. I have the seed shooter out because we have another puzzle where we have to hit a switch with the seed shooter. It'd be kind of tricky. Kind of want to shoot it when you're down at the bottom here. When the platform hits the top. At the bottom of the platform, then shoot up at the top. We almost had that one time, but the bat was in the way. Right there, that was a good one. It's a little tricky timing, but there we go. That gets us a key to allow us to solve another easy puzzle. There's a locked block over here. We're going to take this minecart, but if we take it right now, it'll end up being stopped over here. Got a little, just like in Dungeon 2. Jump over this block to turn it blue so that the lever raises up. And now we can hit the cart. Now if you watched Maverick's unlinked playthrough, his initial playthrough, he realized there's a Gorn game called Targets Card where you're riding a cart and you gotta take out some targets. Well, this is similar to Target Cards right there. You just have to defeat those 3 Salphoses before we end up in this, before we get to that door to enter into this room. Now we don't need the Rock's Feather here, but it does make it a little bit easier. Sometimes these hit detection is pretty wonky. So yeah, you see, it looked like I stepped onto that one on the bottom, but sometimes the game, like I said, seems the hit detection is a little iffy. So the Rock's Feather, you can just kind of jump to be safe. And now we've got more lava jumping and color jumping. This one is really annoying because you pretty much turn that one when you jump over it yellow. Jumping puzzles are annoying. It's a good thing there's quite a few fairies though in this dungeon. There we go. If you match it up, that all sounded up. We got a key. Now we can take another mine cart. This will take us toward our mini boss and the item, the dungeon item. We're going to see a new type of block in this dungeon. These are diamond blocks. And there's a signal that they can be interacted with the dungeon item that we're going to get. It's called the switch hook. It allows you to switch place with certain objects. Pots, enemies, certain blocks. My mighty sword and mighty shield shall crush you. So this guy, we can't hurt him initially as long as he has his mighty shield. But it's like the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. We basically have to destroy his mighty shield with his mighty sword. So the sword comes at us, so we just gotta kind of lure it toward him. Just circle around the room. There we go. 3 times, and then the shield will be broken. And then after that, then we can walk right into locked into the sword. So now he kind of functions like the Moblin boss in Link's Awakening that we had to rescue Bow Wow from. Where he just basically charges at you. When he hits the wall, he'll be stunned for a little bit. That's when you get some really good damage on him. More triangle blocks right there. It's nice that they have that there because once again, it's going to be a teaching tool. Because in the room north of here, we're going to get the dungeon item, the switch hook. And as soon as you leave it, you're like, oh, there's a gap here and a new type of block, and I just got this new item, I should put it to use. A new type of puzzle here where you have to light up all the tiles. A good way to kind of do these puzzles is you try to kind of fill out the outside first. I'm just kind of looking, planning my steps. And then fill in the middle. First few puzzles that they give, pretty easy. Maybe another one later on in the dungeon that's a little more tougher. And then when they get to the Hero's Cave, there's a really tough one. Gee, we got a new item here, we got a gap to cross, so it's like, oh, let me try the new item. And lo and behold, there you go. You can see you switch places with whatever you grab. And now we can head back to this room here, or the room to the north where we saw that one block. And we know that that's a block we can use the switch hook on. So switch it up. And we now enter a new section of the dungeon. Gyarados take so many hits. You see here that sometimes you're going to have to switch the blocks and put it on a button to weigh the button down. Now those blocks will not be destroyed when you use the switch hook on them. We're going to find out a little bit later that pots though will break and that'll be important for some puzzles, because you're going to have to solve puzzles. You're going to have to push pots around in a certain way to return. Actually, one is right up here, and I kind of mess it up. But luckily, it's a... Now, what I should have done is I should not have hit that pot. I should have just transferred the triangle over here, and then hook switch with the pot, and then I wouldn't have to take damage. But I just reset the room. And this one, we have to do a lot of switching, because we gotta get the block on the switch hook. But if we just switched it from when I was standing on the block, well, then Data would switch with the block, and he'd be on the right side of it, so you have to switch while the block is to the left. So this is another room that reinforces that if I switch places with the pot is going to break. But it does teach you also that you can switch with pots. As I said, maybe you didn't do that. You didn't use the pot in the room like how I did. You just fell into the lava to reset the room. So the game gives you another room where you're forced to use the pots to transfer. Alright, we did our little blob color puzzle. Finish them off. Yes. Let's destroy some pots. Alrighty, another room where we have to fill in all the tiles. This is a little more annoying because, one, it's a little harder. There's more almost statues blocking the way. And there's also these worms, which take quite a few hits to destroy. You can see they can knock you around. Luckily, if you mess up, all you have to do is leave the room, and that will reset the puzzle. Did this with Maverick. I just went into the room, didn't worry about the puzzle at all, just defeated all the worms, and then came back in the room when it was worm free and did the puzzle. But unfortunately, two of all the worms are still present here. Almost there. Once we fill in most of the outside, then we just gotta worry about the inside. There we go. We got a small key. The dungeon is almost over. I haven't brought up the map yet. But it's almost over, and we don't have the boss key. Probably thinking, what's going on? If you're looking at your map a lot. But don't fret. There's a staircase over here that will take us right to the boss key. You can see you can also defeat some enemies. Yeah, you see the boss key. Wait, I didn't get the boss key yet. Let's get out of here. We'll pick up those pots later. Combination of Rock's Feather, switch hook. Switch, up over. Boss key. It's kind of an interesting little puzzle to get the boss key. Actually, there's like two of these switch ones. This one is a tight squeeze. It's too bad we don't have Pegasus seeds. You don't need the Pegasus seeds, obviously you can make it, but you gotta be really, really quick. You can't hit any dead ends. Barely make it in time. Now this one, there's no way you can make it in time, but luckily there's a bunch of pots on dry tiles, so you can actually then start using the switch hook to switch around. You can get to the first three here. It's just, you miss it just by just a hair if you try to get the fourth one there. So just go for 3, and then switch around the last few. Rock's Feather, we won't need our sword in the next room. This is a pure puzzle room. Jump over here, jump over there. Get that pot out of the way, switch this pot. Now we're going to push this pot up. Now we can switch with the pot to our left. Push this pot onto the button. And then switch with the pot that we pushed up. If you didn't push that pot up, then you won't be able to jump over that yellow barrier. But now we got the boss key. We're going to have a boss, I guess, another larger enemy than he was in the original Legend of Zelda. The Oracle of Seasons had all those redone boss enemies from Zelda 1, but we're gonna have another kind of boss monster here. It's more like a mini boss in Dungeon 9. There's Patras. And that's gonna be the boss here. Not gonna be as hard as the Patras though in Zelda 1. In Zelda 1 you had to destroy all the Patras that circled the main Patra. In this one, yeah, you have to destroy them as well. But that only so you can switch hook with the main Patra. And then that puts the Patra on his back. And then you can just start wailing away at him. I had the red ring, so made quick work of him. And that'll net us a new heart container, and more importantly, the fourth essence of time, the burning flame. It reignites wavering hearts with a hero's burning passion. And that'll help the Meiku tree remember more things, and let her sense where the fifth essence of time may be. Let's see what she has to say. I am remembering more and more. The ridge north of Nabu's house must be related to the essences. So we'll have to go check that out, but it's time to end the episode here. We've got a lot to do in the next episode, so take care, have a good one, see you then. Thanks for following along. Bye.